Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Paladins Open Qualifiers. My name is Rain Day, and I'm joined, of course, by Hi-Rez Pretty Hair today. We'll be taking you through the North American action in the Paladins esports scene, and we've got a great game coming up for you. But just to recap yesterday, we had an exciting event over in Europe where this all kicked off, and pretty amazing. Congratulations to Burrito, but what a hard-fought set and day they all played.
What a set, absolutely. Both of those teams, there's a lot of question marks surrounding D69 with the return of Bugsy. Would their chemistry be off a little bit after HRX because they played without him? But I would say they played better with him.
Yeah.
You know,
they
haven't missed a beat. They've obviously been practicing very hard together. I'm looking forward to, I think, what is going to be the European finals for a long, long time to come. Yeah,
they're excellent players, excellent teams. They're experienced. And now it's time to talk about North America. There's a lot of experience on both of the sides of the bracket for these squads. Let's go to it and see what happens. And oh my goodness, there's a huge upset here.
Wow.
I don't think many people would have expected to see Eager fall in the round of 16. Of course, newly acquiring Stolzy from the #1 North American team Match Point after their disappointing performance, both North American teams and the Paladins Invitational, trying to come out with a new roster and just not working this weekend for some reason, Nick. So Xenosy will move on, and Q5 Esports will be their contender.
Yeah, you can see that the North American scene has just been jumbled up, and it traditionally has been closer competition than the European scene. I mean, if you compare this bracket to the bracket from yesterday, you're seeing ones, you're seeing splits all across this bad boy from the round of 16 on, whereas in Europe, there was only one series that wasn't a sweep other than the finals. So already a closer scene, and we're seeing Xenosy start to close the gap a little bit here on Eager, and there's a lot of other big names. Vex Gaming, Fake Out was in the champion circuit, Astro Authority, so many teams that on any day I think could step up at this point because, you know, Match Point has lost some talent to Eager. You know, things are getting jumbled up. This is definitely going to be the closer of the two regions.
And we've got a special treat for you all. Normally we start the semis, but we will be starting with a game of the quarterfinals to showcase Xenosy, the team that beat Eager and beat Stolzy on his new squad. And they will be facing off and moving forward, trying to get to the semifinals of this tournament. So Timber Mill has been banned. Frog Isle banned as well. Ice Mines will be the first map selected in Game 1.
Game 1, Ice Mines.
Already getting things started hot.
Huh. Maybe this is Xenosy's game plan here. We'll see what they draft on Ice Mines. It's only right that we do get expected and see what they're all about. They brought down Eager. You know, North America, the 1 and 2 in North America was a little bit closer, I think, to the rest of the pack than in Europe. But I mean, already falling is Eager here. But they will lock in the Makoa Xenosy going with that first pick.
Makoa is the standard first pick for a lot of the top contenders here in North America or Europe. He's such a good front line. He provides so much for the team damage-wise, but also defensively and bait-wise in these ultimate fights that can go either way at the end of a game. Bringing out the Ancient Rage can be incredibly powerful. But again, on Ice Mine specifically, it's a map where we see a lot of characters have a lot of strengths inherently just because of the tight spaces. Eevee being one of those, a fantastic ability to zone, especially with her winter, her ultimate. And then, of course, Fernando's, that fireball can be so deadly in these tight corridors.
Absolutely. Shaolin locked in. Strong on pretty much every map, but always being able to tear through Fernando's shield is definitely a good option. Although the line of sight breaks here make Impaler Arrow a viable option pretty much anywhere around the point. If you're directly on the point, you're not really in danger of being impaled into a wall, but basically anywhere else surrounding the point, Shaolin definitely going to be a favorable 1v1 matchup. Maldamba locked in the premier healer right now, able to pump out the most healing, in addition to having one of the best teamfight ultimates in the game.
And here is our favorite Volpine. Pip gets selected for the first time in the entire tournament so far.
Yeah.
He was not picked once yesterday that we saw, at least on broadcast. So
going into the double frontliner, I think Q5 Esports are just taking this so Xenosy can't have it. Because Pip, that Evil Mojo ultimate, very effective at tank busting, going through shields, turning them into 15 HP chickens as opposed to 4,400 HP Ruckuses and 5,500 HP Fernandos.
Yeah, trying to call the bait of Xenosy. Not sure they would have even gone that route. I mean, the double healer has been something we've been seeing, so definitely viable. But since they already had Maldamba, would they have prioritized Pip in that situation? Pip, maybe could have waited, but
Pip can be picked up as a double healer because he does bring a lot of damage and control to the table, a lot of utility outside of just his healing, and his healing is not really what he's picked up for. So in that situation, it still could have been a threat here. Xenosy will have Smidgen. This is another roster change here. Smidgen, originally playing for Match Point at the HRX Invitational, will now be the support player for Xenosy. Z1 Unknown, another big name here. He's coming from Eager. Stolzy kind of filling his shoes on that roster, but it appears as though this is the dominant force today. Tooney on Bomb King, Cacanuck on Makoa, and tinyFetus on Shaolin.
So Q5 Esports looking to handle their business here and say that they deserve to be going on to the semis. Of course, Yusuf782 will be on EV, Bmseven on the Pip, Panjno on Ruckus, Kolsoy on Grover, and Xavierg on the Fernando. So going for the double healer to start, Nick.
Yep, 2 blast shields, 1 for Z1, 1 for Smidgen. Double record coming out for Tooney and tinyFetus. So those shields will not last very long whatsoever already, having those 2 characters with a high base damage. And the Master Riding's getting Cacanuck there first.
Tooney is an incredible Bomb King as well. I've seen him. I played against him as they were practicing a little bit earlier on this week. He absolutely
That's a lot of damage.
Wrecked anybody who is a stationary target, and even mid-air, he's very good at locating the targets and where he needs to be, especially positioning himself. That Grumpy Bomb is going to do a lot of work in a zone out Ruckus, and now he's got 2 bombs. The third is here, and he can just try to explode these. Ruckus doesn't want to get into the line of fire. The reload comes at the worst time, and Tooney, Z1 Unknown, and tinyFetus clean up 4 kills and put Xenosy on the board, 48% and counting in this objective.
I mean, you see it right there. The hardest thing about Bomb King is hitting his shots, but when you do, and especially when it's a Ruckus, right? It's a very easy target to hit. Bomb King can destroy tanks. He does an absolute crazy amount of damage if he's hitting his shots, but that is definitely, without a doubt, the hardest part about this character. And Xenosy, with that 1 team fight win, are going to be able to capture the payload.
And what's huge about this, Nick, is that, you know, Tooney goes in for the record. He doesn't take the defense. He goes offensive. I want to support my squad, and things are going off well. But because of that capture, they get 300 more credits. And now they've got the record, and they've got enough credits to go get the Haven, the blast shields, whatever they're looking for. Heck, even the resilience if they want against the Pip, and have even more value on that. So now they've just got so much potential in their spending opportunities. Talk about how that could be important coming into this kind of mid-game.
Definitely. On Ice Mines here, it can be a snowballing map. Oftentimes we see it go 3-3, but if the snowball happens here, Xenosy are going to be up 300 credits. That's a full item here. The thing is, right now, we are still on even footing because no one from Xenosy has died in a minute. So
dear
they're
God.
all going to be on. There's the keep very aggressive. Gets the stun off there onto 4 people. Not a lot of follow, though. He was so low. There was a lot of damage coming through during that windup.
Xenosy did a great thing, but also Q5, I got to give it a shout out to them as well for actually bursting the damage, knowing they're going to take the stun. Their only way out is not to flee, it's to fight, it's to go through the issue, and Bomb King takes enough damage so that he's really only able to maybe get 1 kill off of that ultimate when they were very poorly positioned. A more perfectly timed ult could have resulted in a pentakill there.
That was good from Tooney, right? So the opportunity for the great ultimate was there. It's like if you're an Ares in Smite, right? And you hit all 5 people with your chains, but you had to do a blink and a sprint to get there. And your team is just not within follow-up range.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that. So that was the right call from Tooney, but you know, his team needs to let him know a little bit sooner that they're not within range of follow, because as the Bomb King, you have to take that opportunity.
One of the best things Tooney does as a Bomb King too is he takes these aggressive fights in these close corridors. He uses the Grumpy Bomb to zone you out. It's a 2-0 successful push, Nick. So that snowball is well in order, and because obviously now the credit lead, but him as Bomb King, back to that statement, he really allows himself to benefit from the larger explosion radius that Bomb King had by taking these aggressive fights, throwing that Grumpy Bomb there, putting you on a timer saying, if you want to keep fighting, I'm going to hit you or you're just going to get stunned.
So that King Bomb ultimate destroying all shields, doing 3,500 damage at maximum, but you know, it does have a fairly large range that will always stun, and that's kind of the idea there that Tooney was going for. He just wanted to get that stun off on the whole team before he ended up dying there. We can see Cacanuck going into Master Riding 2 and starting to build into that resilience so he won't be as vulnerable to the Evil Mojo. That's the ultimate from Pip. Xenosy spending a lot of ultimates to get that done. All things told, it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
A point's a point. And it puts you in a good spot, especially on Ice Mines here. A lot of ultimates for the side of Q5 Esports going into this point fight.
And the Grumpy Bomb goes onto the point as well. Will it find a stun? It will, but Pip is safe for the time being. Tooney on the backside looking to find some damage, and there is the Xavierg, but there are the chickens, and it is going well for Team Q5 Esports at the moment. Panjno, the Ruckus, with a double kill. He's got his emitter up, so his shields are keeping him alive, and now the spree is continuing. tinyFetus, he tries to get a couple of kills on his own, but it is not enough to stop Q5. 62% and counting.
Yeah, a lot spent there. 4 ultimates spent to win that team fight, but on Ice Mines, that's kind of the benefit, though. You really only need to win one. As you can see, Q5 Esports now capturing the payload, and the good spot that Xenosy are in now with that conversion is they still can benefit from the defense point and go up 3-1 in this round, and then have the chance to take it in the next round.
Q5 needed to win this one. You're absolutely correct. I mean, going 3-0 down and then being on the defensive side, that just would have been so demoralizing. At least now they have a chance to tie it up as well. But Xenosy's in a great spot. They just need a hold here. And so far, Panjno, I'm impressed with his ability to time that Hexafire well. Hexafire with the Immortal is actually a great combo that we've seen utilized more and more with these teams now.
Yeah, that time it was with the Whirlwind. It was very close. Tooney almost took him out, but the Whirlwind from Grover, I think, saved that team fight, because that would have been a lot of power. I mean, Panjno went on to get, I think, 2 or 3 kills in that engagement. You can see the counter engagement from Xenosy coming out, the Maldamba Dread Serpent used. Tooney cleaning up 2, make it 3, make it 4.
Wow, Tooney with a triple kill. tinyFetus picks one up himself. An incredible player, incredible aim, Nick. This guy knows how to play in Joxus and Shaolin very well to the best of the abilities. And look at that, just, you can see the expertise from Tooney, because he was absolutely precise in where he used that Poppy Bomb to get through that window. There's not a lot of room for error, and without hesitating, finds the 2 direct hits onto Eevee. He is a very, very strong Poppy Bomb master here, and he could just use it to set off this King Bomb.
Knife Rib picked up as well. Here it is, just like you mentioned, surprise, and he gets 3, 4 with the stun, immediately taking out 1. His team is there to follow it up this time, and that is how that team fight is going to go when Xenosy are within follow-up range.
My goodness gracious, Tooney is just putting on a show for all of us. I feel like it's the 4th of July, not Super Bowl Sunday, because he is lighting up this battlefield. And again, the direct accuracy just showing. And Q5, as well as players who are coming in, have a strategy, a little bit of a tankier lineup, a little bit of a less mobile lineup as well, with kind of, even though Fernando and Ruckus can do a few things, really I think relying on that tank who's just so susceptible, like you mentioned, Nick, to the bombs, is making it a very tough execution strategy for them right now.
Up in the window here with the 1v1 Tooney.
He's not going to win that.
It's so favorable for Bomb King. If Bomb King is hitting every shot, he's going to beat any character in Paladins. He just does so much damage. Ruckus is a character. He's got the wind-up time, and he's so big and so slow. And Tooney, he's not missing shots onto wormholing Eevees. He's not going to miss a shot onto a Ruckus.
And the thing is, it's like people are looking at this and you could be saying, oh, OP, we need to nerf this guy. No, no, no. Not many people can do this in the world. It's very difficult to actually play Bomb King with the intended accuracy that you want to have with him. He very often is a difficult champion to master and play at his highest and best. But Tooney putting on an absolute show. 15 streak for him as it goes 3-1, the score for Xenosy.
And these are, by and large, I guess, solo kills, because the rest of his teammates aren't dying either. They're all on streaks of their own. They're just not participating in these kills. That's how quickly the King can burst down a target. But like you mentioned, it is very difficult to do, and almost got the Drogos treatment, I think, a little bit at HRX. People are used to playing this guy on ping. He's susceptible to high ping environments. And
he's a Lanimal, though.
As a result, yeah, they just weren't used to him. Not a lot of people were confident bringing it out at LAN.
If you were able to practice LAN maybe a week or 2 with Bomb King, he would be unstoppable. I think he might even be first pick. He's so dangerous, but just, you know, getting used to that. That's what these pros are a little bit scared of. But the 15 streak, 86% on the ultimate charge. He's not going to be scared of anything now, Nick. He knows he's just got a couple more bombs before he can light that field up with the King Bomb as well. They've got to watch out for the Evil Mojo, though, and that's a bad wormhole. She could be in trouble here. There is the Evil Mojo from Pip. Will they follow up on it? Panjno looking for it. 12 health, and that's a great persecution by Xenosy. Takes down Tooney. Xavierg falls up on Z1, and Kolsoy cleans up Cacanuck for a full team wipe after, again, a great ultimate combo by Q5.
Yusuf just saved that team fight, and I'm going to tell you why. Because that Smidgen's Dread Serpent was phenomenal there. It hit pretty much the whole team except Eevee, but Eevee zoned out Tooney. They know, they were all watching him. They know he's the dangerous one right now. If Tooney was allowed to just rip through all 5 of those members who were damage amped from the Dread Serpent, this game would have been already over. But a great job there, Yusuf doing his job, making sure the most dangerous backliner from Xenosy is not allowed to participate in that team fight.
Yeah, that was very important. Into Q5 having a spot to get back in here. 2 minutes and 3 seconds on the clock, looking to push this. Q5 wanting to get themselves back in this game, tied up. even it up at 3-3 as they go into the potentially final round.
Shout out to that
next time.
spot.
And great spot here as well. tinyFetus just looking to fend off anything. Great pull by Cacanuck will secure that kill for Kolsoy. And it seems like they're just both content and kind of waiting at this zone right now.
Yeah, PV blinking around, trying to find some kills onto the backline, but does wormhole directly into the dredge anchor. And I mean, this is pretty much where Xenosy were able to hold. That's kind of Ice Mines though, right? The point fight is very conducive to a defensive trench. There's a lot of places for people to retreat to, go hide, heal up, come back, and Q5, like you can see pushing up here, it's not the case. There's not, this is like D-Day trying to push up this hill, especially against Xenosy, but this is Ice Mines. You gotta, you gotta take these fights one at a time, and you've gotta win only basically one of them to capture that payload. Convert or not, Q5 Esports are content to take this one slow.
Tooney's been so on point with these bombs, but I do question the fact that if Xenosy are able to go into a point fight and not protect him as they had in that earlier one, if they'll be able to win these objectives. I mean, clearly Q5 have shown that they've had a propensity towards winning these initial fights.
He didn't have his ultimate up in that.
That's true.
He was the only one that did not have it. If the King Bomb was up, he would have just Poppy Bomb and YOLO'd in there with the King Bomb and probably won the team fight there.
Because then Immortal is used in a defensive area, and then they don't have it to really kind of use it for the Hexafire duel. They don't just, they're not offensive, now they're defensive, and I think their combination right now with the Evil Mojo is really meant to get a great ult and finish him off. So I do agree that would have changed the game right there. He has it now, though.
Smidgen hit everyone. There wouldn't have been the option for the Immortal. There wouldn't have been the option for the Whirlwind. There wouldn't have been the option for, well, the Evil Mojo did come out to counter it, but it was after the Dread Serpent. So Smidgen hit the Dread Serpent that Xenosy needed. It just, the follow-up, again, wasn't there.
Yeah, so the King Bomb could be useful here. They do not want to use it by any means necessary. So Q5 have a bit of an onus on themselves. They're not going to get there. There's no way to do so in time. Just hoping to maybe charge up a little bit of their ultimates. And so far, 5 across the board. The only one without it is Yusuf.
Cacanuck found the final shot there during the slow-mo, actually, to get his ultimate from 96 to fully charged. So every ultimate except Ice Storm going to be on the table here. So the man who shut down Tooney in the previous round might not be able to do it again this time. A lot of rejuvenates coming out, just kind of the luxury. A lot of these guys have completed their core offensive and defensive and have gone into those yellow utility and those green healing items to try and just every little advantage counts. Xenosy really would like to put this game away at this point.
It's going to be up to the staggering of the ultimates. Who dips in first?
Xenosy just want to... Q5, they aren't like come out and just wipe you, whereas Xenosy is going to wombo combo you and you're going to die. Cacanuck, the Ancient Rage, is going to be important here for the Evil Mojo. There's a small wind-up window where he's going to be able to immune that, get the CC immunity, but the Clash has already started trading out kills now, both teams, but Q5 is very split up right now.
And you know what? They've done a decent job despite being split up, but Cacanuck has been running rampant on the back line. Yusuf can only sit and wait as Cacanuck looks to clean up yet another one and put it on a silver platter for Tooney, tinyFetus, and the rest of their team. And absolutely none of the big-time ultimates were used in that fight at all.
They're going to have to hurry up to get back to this. It's spotted out which way they're coming from. They're starting to receive poke, a strong zone. Here comes the Evil Mojo, but it looks like the Ancient Rage was able to be popped in time to immune that. A lot of zoning coming out. Here's the Whirlwind and the Immortal. They're trying to get it done, but this is not favorable positioning for Q5.
There's the King Bomb. Ancient Rage is not on the table, though, but if they can get this kill, they won't need it. The Hexafire comes out too late. Double kill for the Bomb King. Gonna send 2 back to base, looking for a third. That's Cacanuck's problem, and he's gonna go ahead and solve that quickly. Turn the test into Teacher, because he got 100%. 4-2 goes the score. Xenosy cleaned that one up over Q5.
I mean, just that first, it's a little bit of an interesting decision, I think, for Q5 to split up there, and their team fight is very conducive to them being together. The Evil Mojo requires, you know, clumping. Whirlwind's got to be in range. Immortal's got to be in range. All of that needs to kind of come together, and they just got split up and picked apart a little bit. And then at that point, Xenosy know how to zone you. They park 1 man on the point. The rest 4 are out there. Great job by Cacanuck, though, immuning the Evil Mojo. That was pretty clutch to kind of take that one through. And then Xenosy have the positioning. They're like, you have to come to us, and we still have our wombo combo, and we're going to blow you to pieces the second you do.
See, and that's where, you know, I think the wombo combo gets in people's heads sometimes. You say you have all our ultimates. We have to have a perfect team fight. The issue is, you know, maybe if he uses that ultimate, not maybe trying to get the Makoa down, but says, we'll take the Makoa. We just can't have the follow-up damage. Let's find Tooney. Let's find tinyFetus. Heck, let's find Z1 and just turn them into a chicken and finish them off. That could have really helped to swing that fight, allowed Ruckus to do a lot more damage, and maybe change things. But hey, we're talking about the past right now. Here the scoreboard to show you exactly what went down. A lot of shielding on the side of Fernando, and Q5 in general did a good job being defensive, held it out to the very end, but weren't able to find a win.
Just not enough damage, right? I mean, Yusuf got out damaged by Pip by almost 20k. Grover was almost keeping up with the Eevee there. There just wasn't enough damage, whereas if you look at Xenosy, you've got Z1 Unknown and tinyFetus around 90k. Tooney barely beating them by a small margin of about 10k, despite us, you know, kind of following him along, and he just didn't feel like he missed a shot. But I was going to mention that. I was like, you know, as good as Tooney is doing, I bet you Z1 Unknown on this Cassie's probably not too far off, because that's just what Cassie does.
That's just what she does. 89,000 damage, but I mean, 100k plus for a Bomb King is incredibly impressive.
That's a phenomenal game.
It's a great game, and you know, he showed that he had a masterclass handle of the champion and a masterclass performance to go along with it. He's definitely put the work and the time in on that one. And so will they decide to take it away next round? The biggest question we have, Nick, always when somebody performs well on a Bomb King is, can you play it? Because you can't ban it. You have to be able to play it just as well in your lineup if you're going to take it away from Tooney.
Definitely. We'll see where this series is going to take us. This will be a best of 3. We'll get to the best of 5s in the semis and the finals, but this is not that. This is the quarterfinal. Stone Keep will be the selection.
This could be it. This could be the final map if Xenosy are able to pull through. Only need 2 wins in the best of 5, best of 3, like Nick mentioned. So the new map coming into play, we mentioned that, you know, snipers weren't excellent on this map. But there are a couple of, you know, things that I think some of these snipers can do well. I think it's more of in the Ice Mines vein, where once you win the point fight, you can zone very well from some of the upper ledges with the long lines of sight. But maybe at that initial point fight, there's really only a few that are very safe, and I think Shaolin is going to be very highly prioritized here.
Sure, he's basically strong on he's like Makoa, right? Where it's going to be a strong pick, almost any map. Stone Keep, I haven't seen enough of it to give my honest opinion on it yesterday. Yeah. We saw Burrito with the beatdown on that map.
I would see Bomb King.
You know, they picked, what was it, double tank, triple healer, straight into a Drogos. I mean, it's hard for me to form an opinion on what's going to work here just yet.
Shaolin won that for them, though. That's the thing.
They take it away.
Yeah, there it is. Q5 have actually somebody who could play the Bomb King, or they trust it. And I think Bomb King is pretty good on this map. I saw Tooney actually using it earlier on this week against some players with Bomb King. So that's an early pip, an early Bomb King. What this does, though, is this means they're really just focused on damage and tanks. And now Xenosy kind of have to prioritize their tanks rather than maybe taking their healer or their damage. And it kind of forces Q5 into an interesting spot because, you know, maybe they don't have to go so hard on that. They just take Fernando because they know we want to hurt Q5. That may not be really what they prioritize there.
Taking the Pip, leaving the Fernando open is kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because you're giving it up, but Pip is still good against double tank. Ruckus Torvald is open, but Barrack Ruckus will be the selection. And because they have the double tank, I mean, tanks aren't good at dealing with tanks, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see who gets set up on the point. But I think given that, you know, Z1 could maybe even go bulldozer and just blast these Barrack. It's going to be so hard for Q5 to get set up. You know, Ruckus and Barrack aren't really in the same kind of tier as Makoa and Fernando. This is a little bit of a jank coming out. I don't know.
This is a draft that's kind of blowing a lot of people away, and if you're a little confused, you might be
Production
with us
doesn't
here.
like it, guys. Production is not in favor
but you know
of
what?
this draft.
I think this goes to say, I think a lot of people do see the benefit of having a champion that can deal with the long lines of sight. I think Stone Keep has a lot of great spots for Kinessa to be. They've taken away the Bomb King. They don't want to deal with Tooney's Bomb King against that Kinessa, but they're going to have to deal with Z1 Unknown's Eevee, and that is not a fun one to deal with at all. Xenosy coming into the lineup, game 2, potentially taking it in the quarterfinals and moving on to the semis with a win here. Z1 Unknown will be on Eevee, Smidgen on Maldamba, Tooney on Shaolin, Cacanuck on Fernando, and tinyFetus on Makoa.
Q5 will be bringing BM3 on Pip, Yusuf on Kinessa, Panjno on Ruckus, Kolsoy on Barrack, and Xavierg on Bomb King. We'll have to see how that all pans out. Not a lot of items being purchased just yet. 2 Cauterize coming out, 1 for Kolsoy, 1 for Yusuf here. Ruckus and Bomb King are going to be the choices there to try and bust down some of these shields. And these teams are Z1 Unknown taking this lefternmost flank here and getting around. He's going to be able to get into the back line here. Canessa with a little bit of odd positioning there. First blood, though, going to her.
Yeah, it's just it's a silent battleground right now, and we're looking to see Evie try to figure out how she can get some damage on in the back line. Yusuf with 2 kills. Fantastic work, and actually 3 kills for Yusuf. So Canessa showing why she was picked up and drafted in this lineup, and Q5 Esports have come out swinging over Xenosy.
They played her like, I mean, the reason I think that worked is because Yusuf went right and Z1 went left, basically.
Yeah.
Z1 is the one that has to pressure out this Canessa right now. The pressure wasn't there, and Yusuf picked him apart. He was free.
Wow, she was able to survive after that onslaught. Z1's definitely going to be blinking in. Z1 says, see you later, and takes out the sniper in the background. Tooney and Z1 also pick up 3 kills in total there. And now Q5 are kind of scrambling to find an answer. Panjno with the Ruckus doing a decent bit of damage, but Z1's there to free fire again on the slow-moving, immobile target. And that will not last for long, though. Xavierg is here, and he's doing a great job of jumping in and out of that shield, buying a lot of time for Evie, who does not have a huge health pool.
She's trying to buy. Oh, the Grumpy Bomb stun onto the tank was so good right now. Z1 Unknown is carrying this team fight. We are in overtime here as everyone begins to moonwalk around. Grumpy Bomb coming out, but Z1 Unknown keeping things stalled out. Yusuf with a big shot onto Tooney and onto Z1 Unknown. Yusuf's Canessa right now is carrying Q5.
Yeah, I think they were listening to Billie Jean earlier. They just got the moonwalk fever. They had to start doing it. And now,
you know what I watched today, actually? The '93 Super Bowl halftime show with Michael Jackson.
It's probably the greatest thing
ever.
It's
a legendary halftime show.
One of the best in the world ever, and that ever will be as well. I was just thinking about that the other day. And who's putting on a good performance? This one, Yusuf. Showing improve on the striker, on the sniper, but he's getting struck down by the Winter Witch as well, who's the flanker in the back line, taking her down, and that is a very good play by Z1, but he hasn't been able to keep that up consistently, Nick, so Yusuf has had these moments of getting 3-4 kills in a row before Z1 can take him down. That's just not going to get it done in this game.
Yeah, for me, it's the rest of Xenosy that needs to step up. I feel that Z1 Unknown is doing enough, especially on that last point fight.
Look at this, man.
Ooh, he goes down,
Yusuf is playing well right now.
Very well. I mean, one of the hallmarks of a good Canessa is how you can deal with the Evie Canessa matchup, because that's the premier champion that people are going to run against you. Here comes a big Paladin, pumping out a lot of damage, only finding 1 kill, but does shred through the emitter shield from Ruckus.
Uses the heat haze defensively as well, going to make him invisible and create clones anywhere that he fires until the duration runs down. He's going to find a barrack turret as well, hit that for 1,000, and get that off the battlefield. So Barrack will not be able to heal up through that. He will not be able to do any zoning with that damage, but the entire team of Q5 is there, lumped up together, ready to go, and they've got the Bomb King ultimate to zone. This is looking like a very imminent push coming out from Q5. The Dread Serpent is here. What can they do to follow up on it? The King Bomb still available. There's the Immortal coming out from Fernando, trying to save his life and the life of his teammates, but this King Bomb could be nuts. He's gonna go in and get it. He can't get the kill though. 90 health, and Tooney stays alive.
Yeah, great job from Makoa there to pop the Ancient Rage, keep the CC immunity, and actually clean up the Bomb King there. Didn't allow him to pick up Tooney. Narrowly able to hold on is Xenosy. They spent a lot to do it, but so did Q5. They only have the Hexfire available to them. Headhunter is about a shot off, so all things told, it'll probably be about equal in terms of the ultimates going into the next round, but still 17 seconds remain in this round. Barrack going in alone.
He's getting a lot of pressure right now, and he actually will go down thanks to Smidgen. They focus the turrets, and there's the Hexafire coming out. Smidgen, great job doing damage, and then looking to heal his teammates as well. Can he find a stun? A great stun on the pimp. Go Smidgen. He's the veteran from match point, and now he's found himself a successful squad that has taken down Eager and moving forward ever closer to the semifinals of the Paladins Open Bracket Qualifiers. And so Xenosy will tie things up despite our kind of hesitancy at them being able to defend that one. They come through strong and even things out one apiece.
I still have confidence that Xenosy will be able to kind of figure out their mistakes. Z1 Unknown will be a little bit more on Canessa's case, I think, as this game goes on, and hopefully be able to spot her out sooner. She's kind of the key pick-off here. for Xenosy, and a little bit of heading credits because they did capture the payload is Q5. You can see a bunch of master ridings coming out. Going to be very important to get to that point first and get set up. Double resilience coming out from Cacanuck and from tinyFetus, just trying to combo away from not only Grumpy Bomb stuns, not only King Bomb stuns, but Evil Mojo stuns as well.
Yeah, that resilience will be hopefully giving them enough resilience to outlast in this fight and deal the damage that they need to their enemies. Keep themselves topped off and ready to go. It's going to be up to Tooney to deal with that Knessa alongside Z1 Unknown. They've both got the damage from range and up close. Can they pressure her out? Knessa is not dead yet, but Tooney makes sure Xavierg finds the fate that he wished onto the sniper, and a double kill. Hi-Rez popping in. This could get ugly for Q5.
Great job from Tooney, though, staying alive with that low HP. He's picked up 3 kills in this engagement. Beautiful use of Hi-Rez there. Planet is available. Missing shots right now. Z1 Unknown just going to bap this Bomb King into a corner and try and take him out. He's going to be very staggered. 11 seconds till he returns to the battlefield, and a 4v5 man advantage for Xenosy.
90% on the objective, and it could be a full capture if they can't get back onto this point. The Xavierg turret is there. He's probably used rocket boots to get in, so can he get out? A rampage for Z1 Unknown as he slays the pit. Xavierg follows down as well, and now it is just looking like a trickle-down effect. Great stun from Smidgen onto the Bomb King, and Z1 could pursue this if he wishes. He does. One pop shot to the head, another one, and the no-look Soar to start zoning out his team as they continue to push with 2 minutes and 18 seconds.
And that's the adjustment I told you we were going to see from Xenosy. They realized the problem was Knessa. Just as Q5 did, they realized Tooney was the problem. They zoned him out. They want to fight. You know, this time pressure was on Knessa almost the whole time. She wasn't able to, you know, really take any quality shots there. And Xenosy won the fight hands down.
And can they deal with this Tooney? He is the real one that I think is going to be the difference maker as well. Can Bomb King keep him busy? Can the front lines keep him busy? Xavierg, Ruckus, they have not had that kind of staying power that they had earlier on. And it may be because the Wreckers are coming into play. Maybe just because of the decisions they're making. But those turrets, those health pools, they're not surviving. As I mentioned it, Kolsoy goes down to Z1 Unknown, and tinyFetus slays Yusuf before he can even get out. This is going to be a conversion for Xenosy and the boys. 3-1 now. They are in the lead.
Not having to spend a single ultimate to do it neither. So now on set point, if Xenosy are able to capture this payload here. Final rounding out of the items here. A couple of Marabus coming online. The big note here is that every ultimate is available on the side of Xenosy, and there are 2 that are just off the mark. Xavierg needs 1 shot for that King Bomb to come through, and the Dome Shield is a fair bit off, so that may or may not, depending on how many shots Kolsoy can land, will be available for this fight. But Xenosy are definitely in a good spot to take this.
Anytime Shaolin is on a 20 streak, that's just not good for your team.
Not good.
Unless he's on it. And that's what Q5 need to handle. Yusuf was cleaning up a lot of kills, but can he stay on the offensive and not the defensive this time? He's got morale boost, but he's got his ultimate. That Headhunter could come into play here. They've got a great Grumpy Bomb potential. But immediately Tooney actually goes onto the Ruckus. Hexafire comes through, and Hi-Rez pop. And Ruckus spots him out just a little bit, but Hi-Rez will allow him to escape and get back into the other edge of the fight. But Z1 Unknown all the while, Nick, cleans up 2 clutch kills and leaves the tanks by themselves, having split up from their team.
That's just a miscommunication to me. If I'm Q5, I'm taking this fight on the high ground, even though my Ruckus is literally just hexafiring nothing on the low ground. Like, I don't know what the decision was there. Pip gets picked off immediately there. 48%. They do get some of the capture point there, so if Q5 can find a win here, they do have a chance to take this to a 3-2 scenario.
And right now, Xenosy are not feeling pressured at all. The Knessa's been dealt with easily after just a communication. Tooney stayed alive. He's gotten a 23 streak. He hasn't even thought about dying in a moment. These kills are just falling in his lap, and there's just absolutely no way for them to deal with anything. Even though the Evil Mojo was there, didn't pick up resilience because he didn't need it, wasn't a big enough threat. Overtime is ticking away. Great slither by Smidgen. He immunes the King Bomb damage, and that's just the icing on the top of the cake. Victory for Xenosy. They move on into the semifinals.
I mean, you can't King Bomb a solo snake like that. I mean, Smidgen's like, bro, please.
Maybe he doesn't have his movement skill up?
Yeah, maybe he thought he didn't have it. I don't know. That's not the ideal target there. Smidgen's been around the block. He's seen that trick once or twice before. He's seen some things.
Nick.
He wouldn't recommend it.
Back in my day, I've seen a few things.
Anyway, Xenosy able to take it there, convincing 2-0 sweep there. Great mid-game adjustments from both teams. We saw the adjustments on the Tooney, saw the adjustments on the Yusuf. Being able to pin down who is the playmaker for a team, who is going to carry their fight for them, is very important to winning the team fights. So Z1 making great adjustments. He found a lot of kills in the first round, despite Xenosy not being able to pull it out. But in the end, it will be them. I hope we get to see this squad go up against Match Point in the finals.
Well, they're looking like they are on the path to success right now. Tooney with a 25 streak, I believe, to end 26 streak to end the game, highest by a very large margin other than tinyFetus in that match. And to mention, those two have been playing with each other for quite a while in casuals, in other forms of the match, and just been practicing and honing kind of their partnership. And they've shown that they are a pair to be reckoned with. And adding Smidgen from Matchpoint, adding Z1 from Eager, Cacanuck, a veteran, and a player who's just been around the block for so long. This is a squad that is really shaping up to be a contender in North America, especially with a lot of the rosters flip-flopping here. Great job, though. By Q5, made a couple of adjustments, but just not enough.
We saw how important it was to have a good support player there. Shoutouts to Smidgen. Highest objective time, staying on the objective, still kept up in healing, almost kept up with the pip in damage there, and only managed to die 3 times. So a veteran support player definitely, whether it's unsung hero or not, has an outstanding effect on the game. We're going to head on over to the brackets here. Next up will be Match Point versus AGG.
This will be interesting. Match Point, obviously, having lost Stolzy, are looking to have a new roster here with alternate stepping in as well. Used to manage the team, might still have that role, but it's definitely now playing. And will he be playing today? We'll have to see when we get to that match, but we know that they will be revamped. They will be obviously looking to be refreshed and making a statement again after North America's, again, admittedly disappointing trip to the Paladins Invitational, where not one team from NA was able to make it into the finals. Will that change? Will this be the beginning of the new road? We've got a lot to see. Match Point, AGG, they're coming up right after the break, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you all in just a sec.